As for offshore drilling, it's safe enough.
And at this point, we just need to get past the 1960s oil spill mentality and embrace modern technology and science.
John McCain came to our area today boasting of his support for offshore drilling.
You know, there's all this pressure about the oil companies and, oh, they make so much money. Oil companies have spent a tremendous amount of money researching and making this process as clean as possible, and they've done a pretty good job of it. When you look at the numbers of what actually gets spilled out there, it's extremely minimal.
I think we also need to remember that OCS development has been going on for the last 50 years, and it has been going on in a way that is both safe and protective of the environment.
Broad federal moratorium stands in the way of energy exploration and production.
Congressional restrictions on OCS exploration have become outdated and counterproductive.
And I believe it is time for the federal government to lift these restrictions and to put our own reserves to use.
Republicans in Congress have proposed several promising bills that would lift the legislative ban on oil exploration in the OCS.
We need to offshore drill for oil and natural gas. We need to drill here, and we need to drill now.
There's now a growing agreement across our country that the government should permit the exploration and development of these offshore oil resources. So I've lifted the executive restrictions on offshore exploration. I've done my part.
New modern technology is able to dig very, very deep, and it's able to be very safe. When Katrina, the hurricane that did so much damage in New Orleans, hit the oil rigs in the Gulf Coast, none of them were damaged and there were no leaks, because the modern technology is so much more effective and so much more powerful than it used to be.
Drill, baby, drill, and drill now.
You even called drilling safe, environmentally friendly drilling offshore as raping the outer continental shelf. There, with new technology, with tiny footprints even on land, it is safe to drill, and we need to do more of that.
Look at these sources of energy here in Florida that are still sitting untapped, and we'll tap into them. Along with environmentally friendly offshore production, we do need to drill here and drill now. Now you can chant the drill, baby, drill.
We could drill here, drill now, and pay less.
With increased drilling, prices will come down because the oil-producing countries will no longer have a chokehold on us. And modern drilling will not harm the environment.
And unfortunately, when the markets, worldwide markets, look at what's happening in America, they see Congress impeding development of more supply. So they then set the price of gas higher.
If you read the liberal Bible, the New York Times, those folks actually want higher gas prices.
If we have the speculators out of the market, it will bring prices down.
It takes so much money to fill up your tank, but Congress has made it impossible to lower gas prices. Well, America has huge energy reserves right here at home, but Congress won't allow drilling for more oil in America. So we keep paying more and more to foreign countries. That's just plain dumb.
Is going to be in excess of what happened with Exxon Valdez.
Let's see if that happens. Let's see if that happens.
Well, okay.
I mean, that's a good question today if you're standing down there on the Gulf, and that is, where's the oil?
Experts are now saying yes to offshore drilling, arguing that could it actually be good for the environment. Fox's William Lajeunesse is in Santa Barbara, California, on a tough assignment there with the details. William, what's this all about?
Well, it actually doesn't make sense, so I'm going to explain it to you, Heather.
As we move to California now, where environmentalists drilling into your heads how dangerous and dirty offshore drilling is, and we're actually getting evidence that drilling could help the environment.
There's any question this is in excess of anything that we previously asked the ocean to absorb.
We'll see if it is.
Well, right, but I
The
don't
ocean
think
absorbs
you're
a lot, Juan. An awful lot. The ocean absorbs.
It's just wrong to think, you know what? Dump it on the ocean, let the ocean handle it. Why can't we?
Who said that? Who is saying that?
Nobody's making
Who is saying that?
Particularly stop demonizing BP. He's going to drive this company into collapse.
Using this calamity to justify, well, just going after companies now.
The president has spent a lot of time playing the blame game.
The president appears to be trying to ruin BP financially, at least, really bring them down financially.
The day that it was announced that we were going to go after the oil company criminally, there was a collapse of the price.
It doesn't make it any less offensive or any less illegal. Bigfooting anyone under the guise of protecting everyone helps no one.
And a lot of people are saying this is a diversion, beat up on BP, kill them financially.
The Brits are right. This is a serious issue for our ally. It affects a seventh of their pensioners, and that's a big deal in Britain, and we ought to keep that in mind, particularly when we're involved in a war in which the Brits are our best and most reliable ally.
As Governor Palin points out, continuing to villainize British Petroleum, which is our only hope here in trying to get this thing under control.
I apologize. I do not want to live in a country where any time a citizen or a corporation does something that is legitimately wrong is subject to some sort of political pressure that is, again, in my words, amounts to a shakedown.
But it's Hugo Chavez-like, is it not, to seize a private company's assets, $20 billion.
Okay, you're not going
to. And what are people who own the stock if they see $20 billion moving out the door to some escrow fund where they don't know exactly how that money is going to be handled? I think that would hurt the stock even more. He needs to build up this company so it can pay for the damage that it's responsible for.
Maybe the president is diverting attention from that delay by beating up on British Petroleum.
I must stress he did not cause this mess, but now, fairly or not, it is his mess.
The administration wins politically by beating up on BP and taking $20 billion off them. It also diverts attention from the administration's own failure to clean up this mess.
The Obama administration's contentions that BP is liable well beyond spill cleanup itself and some of the claims is making things very difficult for Brits who have pension funds tied up with BP.
The question is raised whether or not the administration is using this fund to any extent to cover up for some of their own mistakes, whether, pointing all of the blame at BP is necessarily legitimate.
What happens if BP can't come up with this $20 billion? Let's suppose that the administration does indeed drive them into bankruptcy. Sure. What happens if that happens?